Dear Starseed from Gaia, the High Council just approved your union, and the unseen resistance that delayed a sacred connection is losing its power now. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and the reunion guides are speaking through me with a message timed for this exact turning point. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to align with divine union. But here's the first revelation. Your union was never dependent on human timing alone. What felt like rejection, silence, or separation was preparing both hearts for a connection that could no longer be blocked by fear, doubt, or old patterns. You didn't find this video by chance. Your heart called this message in. This isn't just a message. It's a moment of divine intervention. Your soul has been waiting for this guidance. Like this transmission to affirm to the universe, my heart is ready for divine love. Subscribe if you're on the twin flame path and aligning with sacred union. Comment 1111 if you feel your heart awakening to divine truth. Your heart knows why you're here. Some of you have been carrying this weight for years. The waiting, the doubt, the quiet fear that love has forgotten your name. It hasn't, but your signal needs recalibration, not more patience. The Divine Love Frequency Code is the transmission the Arcturian Council asked to be made available now, because the souls hearing this are closer to union than they realize. The complete guide, with all 7 activation bonuses, is linked in the first pinned comment. It won't stay there forever. And now, breathe deeply, because what has been approved is not permission for another person to override their freedom or for you to abandon your own discernment. It is an opening within your path. It is the confirmation that the love your heart has been preparing for is not meant to remain only an idea, a dream, or a distant possibility. But sacred union does not begin when someone finally appears at your door. It begins when the part of you that has been waiting in fear stops confusing delay with rejection. For some of you, this message is arriving after a long season in which every silence felt personal. You watched the months pass. You noticed the dates, the numbers, the songs, the dreams, and the strange moments that seem to echo the name of someone who still lives in the unanswered chambers of your heart. Yet signs are not meant to become chains. They are meant to awaken awareness. The universe may be showing you a direction, but it is never asking you to surrender your wisdom. The truest confirmation will always bring you closer to peace, clarity, and self-respect. Many souls struggle with divine love because they are not actually afraid of love itself. They are afraid of what love will reveal. True intimacy brings you face to face with the places where you learn to perform, overgive, disappear, or remain guarded. It exposes the old belief that you must become easier to love before love can stay. It touches the wound that says you have to prove your value through patience, suffering, loyalty, or endless understanding. Love is like sunlight entering a room that has remained closed for years. At first, the light does not only reveal beauty, it also reveals the dust that has settled in forgotten corners. It shows the papers you left scattered, the old photographs, the cracks in the walls, and the places where you stopped tending to yourself. This does not mean the light created the mess. It means the light made it possible to see what is ready to be cleansed. This is why some connections feel powerful but leave you depleted. They awaken the memory of union, yet they also activate every unhealed place that still believes love must be earned. The heart recognizes the possibility, but the nervous system recognizes danger. One part of you reaches forward, while another part prepares for abandonment. One part says, "This is home," while another whispers, "Do not trust it, you will lose it." You may feel this conflict in the smallest moments. A delayed message can make your body tense. A change in someone's tone can send you searching for what you did wrong. A moment of closeness may be followed by an urge to withdraw before the other person has the chance to leave. These reactions are not proof that you are too sensitive or incapable of love. They are old alarms attempting to protect you with instructions that belonged to another season. The Arcturian heart wisdom surrounding this transition is simple. Your soul may be ready for union before your emotional body feels safe enough to receive it. That does not mean the union is false. It means your inner world is being recalibrated so that love no longer has to arrive through confusion, pursuit, emotional distance, or pain. Your soul can recognize a frequency before your body knows how to live inside it. That is why healing may feel slower than revelation. You may understand, spiritually, that you deserve mutual love, yet still find yourself drawn toward what is unavailable. You may know that you should not chase, yet still feel the impulse to reach for one more answer. Be patient with this transition, but do not use patience as an excuse to remain in what harms you. Healing is not measured by never feeling the old impulse. It is measured by what you choose after the impulse appears. There may also be an old agreement within you that says separation is proof of depth. Perhaps you learn to measure love by how much you could endure. Perhaps you have mistaken intensity for compatibility, longing for alignment, or psychic connection for a relationship that is healthy and mutual in everyday life. These patterns are not evidence that you are broken. They are evidence that your heart has been trying to complete an unfinished lesson. Somewhere along the way, you may have been taught that the more difficult the love, the more sacred it must be. You may have watched people call instability, passion, silence, mystery, and emotional unavailability a sign of profound spiritual connection. But Scripture reminds us that love is patient and kind, not endlessly confusing and cruel. Love does not rejoice in wrongdoing, and it does not require you to betray your own soul in order to prove devotion. A fire that warms you is different from a fire that consumes your home. The sacred union template is not built from obsession. It is built from recognition, responsibility, communication, and choice. It does not ask you to ignore reality in the name of destiny. It asks you to bring more truth into reality. When the heart code activates, you stop chasing signs that someone will return and begin becoming the kind of person who can receive love without abandoning yourself. Sacred union is not simply two people feeling something extraordinary. It is two people choosing to make that feeling responsible. It is the willingness to speak honestly, repair what has been damaged, respect boundaries, and show up when the moment is no longer dramatic. It is love with roots. It does not live only in dreams, telepathy, or longing. It is also present in the ordinary acts that build trust, answering clearly, keeping promises, making room, listening without defensiveness, and allowing another person to remain fully themselves. The first opening is the worthiness within you, not the kind of worthiness that depends on being chosen, desired, contacted, or admired, but the quiet knowing that your existence does not need to be negotiated. If you have spent years asking whether you are enough for someone, your energy has been directed outward, waiting for another person to issue a verdict about your value. You were worthy before the first person noticed you. You were worthy before the first person noticed you. You were worthy during the season when someone misunderstood you. You were worthy when your heart was rejected, when your efforts were not returned, and when you had to walk away with questions still burning in your mind. Worthiness is not a prize placed in another person's hands. It is the ground beneath your feet, even when you cannot feel it. This opening turns when you begin to notice how often you make your needs smaller to preserve connection. It turns when you stop apologizing for having feelings, boundaries, hopes, and standards. It turns when you understand that being loved is not a reward for tolerating what hurts you. You do not become worthy when another person recognizes you. You become available for healthier love when you recognize yourself. Notice the subtle ways self-abandonment may have entered your life. Perhaps you say you are fine when you are not. Perhaps you accept a vague arrangement because asking for clarity feels dangerous. Perhaps you call yourself demanding when you are simply asking for consistency. Perhaps you give endless understanding to someone else while denying yourself the same tenderness. These choices can feel like love in the moment, but over time, they teach your heart that connection matters more than truth. Place your hand over your heart and ask, where have I been asking someone else to confirm what I have refused to give myself? Do not answer with criticism. Let the answer rise gently. Perhaps it is rest. Perhaps it is reassurance. Perhaps it is permission to stop returning to a dynamic that keeps reopening the same wound. The moment you begin meeting that need with compassion, the door of self-worth moves. You may even write the answer down, not as an accusation, but as a promise. If the answer is reassurance, learn to speak to yourself in a steady voice. If the answer is rest, allow your body to stop earning permission to be still. If the answer is affection, place your hand on your skin and remember that you are not a problem to be solved. The inner child within you does not need another lecture. It needs a safe presence. Let that presence begin with you. The next opening is recognition. Your divine counterpart, whether understood as a specific person or as the highest expression of reciprocal love available to you, is not meant to complete the identity you have neglected. A sacred partner reflects the truth you are willing to live, not the potential you keep postponing. There is a difference between recognizing a soul and idealizing a person. Recognition sees the whole landscape. It notices beauty, but it also remains willing to see limitations, patterns, and choices. Idealization places someone on an altar and then asks you to worship the possibility while ignoring the evidence. One honors love, the other abandons reality. This is why the connection may feel like a mirror. It can reveal your tenderness and your fear, your capacity for devotion and your tendency to overfunction. But a mirror is not a command to chase what you see. It is an invitation to understand yourself more honestly. If someone's presence awakens your longing, ask what quality you are longing to embody. Is it emotional safety, passion, playfulness, belonging, devotion? Let the answer become part of your life now, rather than something you demand another person deliver before you can feel whole. If you long for emotional safety, create spaces where your own truth is welcome. If you long for passion, return to the creative fire that existed before this connection. If you long for belonging, seek communities where you are not required to perform for acceptance. If you long for devotion, devote yourself to the practices that make your life meaningful. In this way, longing becomes a compass rather than a cage. As you embody those qualities, recognition becomes clearer. You no longer confuse the person who activates your wounds with the person who is able to build with you. You begin to sense the difference between a connection that consumes your attention and one that supports your growth. The sacred mirror does not leave you smaller. It leads you back to yourself. Then comes the release of old contracts. There are relationships you may still be carrying in your energy because some part of you is waiting for a different ending. You replay the conversation, imagine the apology, revisit the moment when everything changed, and wonder whether one more explanation could finally make the past give you what it could not give you then. The mind often returns to the past because it believes repetition will create control. It revisits the scene, searching for the sentence that should have been spoken or the warning that should have been recognized. But healing does not always come from finding the perfect interpretation. Sometimes it comes from accepting that the chapter ended without giving you the explanation you deserved. Release does not mean pretending you were not hurt. It does not mean calling betrayal a blessing before you have allowed yourself to grieve. It means refusing to let the unfinished behavior of another person become the organizing principle of your future. You can honor what a connection taught you without keeping its pain as proof that it mattered. Grief is not a failure of faith. Even Jesus wept at the tomb of Lazarus, though resurrection was already moving toward the scene. Your tears do not mean you have lost your spiritual understanding. They mean your heart is processing what your mind may already know. Let the grief move like water through you. Do not build a permanent home inside it, but do not dam it either. Tonight, or whenever you feel ready, speak inwardly to the relationships that still occupy your heart. I release the role I played in surviving what I no longer choose. I return your choices to you, and I reclaim my energy, my voice, and my future. You do not need to force a cord to disappear. You only need to stop feeding it with repeated contact, imagined conversations, and the belief that your life cannot move until someone else changes. You may need to repeat this more than once. A contract formed over years rarely dissolves through one beautiful sentence. Each time you choose not to check, chase, explain, or reopen the wound, you weaken the old agreement. Each time you redirect your attention toward your health, work, creativity, friendships, and spiritual life, you bring another piece of yourself home. The fourth opening is trust in timing, but not passive waiting. Divine timing is not a reason to put your life on hold. It is the wisdom to know that preparation is also movement. While you are waiting for clarity, your life is still speaking. While you are waiting for a message, your boundaries are still being formed. While you are waiting for reunion, your relationship with yourself is either becoming more secure or more dependent on external proof. A seed does not spend the winter apologizing for being underground. It gathers strength in darkness. Yet the seed is not inactive. Beneath the soil, it is preparing roots, changing form, and responding to a season that cannot be rushed. You are allowed to be in a hidden season, but hidden does not mean forgotten. Preparation is happening in the places no one else can see. Ask yourself whether you are waiting from peace or waiting from fear. Peace allows you to continue living, creating, meeting people, resting, and making choices that honor your future. Fear keeps checking, interpreting, and searching for evidence that the promised moment is close. One expands your world, the other makes your world smaller. If you find that waiting has become the center of your identity, gently begin returning to the present. Make the appointment. Take the class. Clean the room. Call a friend. Apply for the opportunity. Let your life become larger than the unanswered question. The future will not be offended by your happiness today. In fact, the most aligned love will meet you in motion, not in emotional suspension. If a union is truly aligned, it will not require you to betray your values to preserve its possibility. It will not ask you to accept perpetual ambiguity as a substitute for intimacy. It will meet you through tangible actions, honest communication, and mutual willingness. Timing may be mysterious, but alignment becomes visible in behavior. The fifth opening is magnetic embodiment. You do not draw love by pretending to be unaffected. You draw a healthier love by becoming honest about what you feel and responsible for what you do with it. Magnetism is not seduction, control, or the performance of spiritual perfection. It is the coherence that appears when your inner truth and outer choices begin speaking the same language. There is a quiet power in someone who no longer needs to manipulate an outcome. They do not become cold, they become clear. They can say, "I care about you," without saying, "Therefore you must choose me." They can express desire without turning desire into entitlement. They can open their heart while keeping both feet connected to the ground. If you say you desire peace, but repeatedly enter situations that keep you anxious, your heart is receiving mixed signals. If you say you want commitment, but continue accepting fragments because you fear losing access, your actions are teaching your life what you believe you deserve. This is not a punishment. It is an opportunity to bring your choices into alignment with your deepest desire. Ask what your daily behavior is communicating. Are you making room for the relationship you say you want? Or are you filling every space with distractions and unavailable people? Are you treating your body as a vessel worthy of care, or demanding that it carry years of stress without rest? Are you honoring your intuition, or constantly overriding it because someone else's attention feels more important? Become the energy you seek in practical ways. If you desire honesty, practice telling the truth without using it as a weapon. If you desire devotion, become devoted to your own well-being. If you desire emotional maturity, learn to pause before reacting. If you desire tenderness, stop offering yourself harshness whenever you make a mistake. The love you call in must have somewhere safe to land, and that place is the life you are building now. The sixth opening is the wisdom of separation. Distance can be painful, but it can also reveal what closeness was concealing. When two people are apart, the fantasy begins to separate from the facts. You see what was mutual and what you were carrying alone. You see whether the connection survives without constant pursuit. You discover whether your love is capable of becoming self-respect. Separation can be a wilderness, but the wilderness is not always punishment. In Scripture, many transformations began in places of solitude. Moses encountered his calling in the desert. Elijah heard the quiet voice after the storm. Jesus withdrew before beginning a new phase of service. In the silence, the borrowed voices become quieter, and the truth within you becomes easier to hear. Do not use separation to romanticize neglect. Distance is preparation only when it produces greater truth, greater maturity, and greater freedom. If it keeps you trapped in uncertainty, it may be asking you to prepare for a different kind of union, the union of your own heart, mind, body, and future. Sometimes the reunion you are waiting for is not with the person you imagined, but with the part of yourself you left behind while trying to be chosen. Let separation show you what returns when the emotional noise settles. Perhaps your creativity returns. Perhaps your appetite changes. Perhaps you sleep more deeply. Perhaps you remember the dreams you postponed. These are not distractions from your love story. They are evidence that your life is still alive and asking to be inhabited. The final opening is readiness. Readiness does not mean you will never feel afraid. It means fear is no longer making every decision. You can be open without being unprotected. You can love without overgiving. You can recognize a soul-level connection and still ask whether the relationship is emotionally safe, available, and reciprocal. Readiness means you can receive affection without immediately questioning when it will disappear. It means you can be seen without rushing to edit yourself. It means you can hear "I love you" and still pay attention to whether the actions support the words. It means your heart and your discernment are no longer enemies. They become companions walking together. The door opens from within when you no longer need a specific outcome to validate your spiritual path. This is the paradox. When you release the demand that one person must fulfill the prophecy, you become free enough to receive what is genuinely aligned. If that person is capable of meeting you, freedom creates a healthier foundation. If they are not, freedom protects you from confusing potential with partnership. The approval you feel around this union may be understood as a blessing over your readiness to move into love with greater integrity. It is not a guarantee that removes human choice, nor a command to wait indefinitely. It is a reminder that nothing outside you has the authority to block the love that begins with your own alignment. No former partner, no period of silence, no past mistake, and no perceived delay can cancel your capacity to be loved well. What is meant for you will not require you to become invisible. It will not ask you to abandon discernment. It will not punish you for needing clarity. It will not demand that you call pain sacred while continuing to live inside it. Divine love is expansive enough to hold mystery, but it is also grounded enough to honor truth. A love that comes from the divine will not make you suspicious of your own humanity. It will not require you to pretend you have no needs. It will not make you afraid to speak because one honest sentence could cause everything to vanish. You are not too much for the right relationship. Your depth is not a burden to someone prepared to meet you with depth of their own. If you have been lonely, let this be the moment you stop turning loneliness into a verdict. Loneliness is a feeling, not a prophecy. It may be showing you where connection is needed, where community can support you, where your heart has been silencing its own needs. Let it guide you toward deeper relationship with yourself and with people who can meet you in the present, not only in an imagined future. If you have been heartbroken, let the heartbreak become an opening rather than an identity. You did not lose your ability to love because someone failed to recognize it. You did not miss your destiny because a chapter ended. You are allowed to grieve and still believe in love. You are allowed to remember someone and still choose yourself. You are allowed to carry tenderness without carrying the burden of making the past come alive again. The higher wisdom moving through this moment is saying your heart was never foolish for hoping. It was learning. Every time you chose honesty over performance, you strengthened the pathway to union. Every time you left what diminished you, you cleared space. Every time you forgave yourself for not knowing sooner, you softened the place where love will one day be received without fear. Do not despise the version of yourself who stayed too long. That version was trying to survive with the tools available at the time. Offer compassion to the one who confused potential with promise because that person was reaching for hope. But compassion does not mean repeating the pattern. You can thank the old self for carrying you this far and still allow a wiser self to lead from here. Before you sleep, place one hand on your heart and one hand on your lower abdomen. Breathe slowly and say, "I am worthy of love that is clear, mutual, and free. I release the need to force what is aligned. I welcome the relationship that honors my whole being, and I remain faithful to myself as love finds me." Let the words settle into your body. You do not need to shout them into the universe. A truth spoken with embodiment travels farther than a wish spoken from panic. And if the person connected to your heart is truly part of this unfolding, may both of you be guided toward honesty, healing, and the courage to meet one another in reality. May no fantasy replace communication. May no fear disguise itself as destiny. May the connection become worthy of the love you have carried. And if your path is opening toward someone unexpected, may you have the courage to recognize the difference between what feels familiar and what is genuinely safe. You are not being asked to wait for a miracle while neglecting your life. You are being invited to become present enough to recognize love when it arrives in a form that does not require you to suffer for it. The union begins in the moment you stop making yourself available to what keeps you divided. It deepens when you choose peace without closing your heart. It becomes visible when your love is no longer a plea, but a conscious exchange between two people who are willing to show up. So let this be your new agreement. I will not chase what requires me to abandon myself. I will not call confusion a sacred test forever. I will not measure my worth by another person's readiness. I will remain open, discerning, and devoted to the life that is unfolding through me. What is aligned may take time, but it will not ask me to become less than who I am. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real from your heart journey. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or love. This isn't content, it's collective healing. Love multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your life is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow of divine love guidance. You're not just watching, you're healing. This is your sacred space, and we're just getting started.